Your Holiness, would you please open this forum by giving your remarks? You can sit.
Dear respected elders, brothers and sisters, and also brothers and sisters. I extremely happy find the opportunity to come in this country. And I already had opportunity meeting my dear, respected friend, President Howard. Yesterday I met. His illness, sometimes people call political illness. No, genuine illness, isn't it? His physical condition. Very fragile, difficult. But his spirit, very clear, very strong. And I told him, world need like him who really carry human spirit in the face of tremendous pressure and difficulties. So since we know each other very well, so I told him, you must live another 10 years. So now here, this meeting mainly concerned about human rights and freedom and democracy in Asia, mainly in Asia. Now, we are 21st century. Unlike ancient time. In ancient time, the geographical sort of separations and also within one sort of continent, different nations, something happened, other, no direct effect on your own area. So sometimes, say, not much sort of personally showing concern, even other area. But now today, firstly, I think, morally speaking or spiritually speaking, around 7 billion human beings on this planet is more or less a member of one human family. We, everyone, have the moral responsibility to take care, to keep a sense of responsibility of their well-being. I think, unlike past, for example, recent years when nature disaster, like tsunami in Indonesia, I can't remember the year, the response from the rest of the world, well, very sort of strong. So that's the sense of responsibility to take care to other fellow human beings who are suffering. So now, I think because of communication, because of economic connections and many things, now we mentally much closer to each other. I think that's a really very, very positive sign. After all, we are about 7 billion human beings. We share one home. That's a blue planet. Just one. If some of you come from Mars or some other planet, then we can make distinction. Oh, you all come from other planet. But not that way. But we all is born on this planet and grown on this planet. Our survival on this planet depends on this planet. And then 7 billion human beings, everyone have desire to achieve happy life, to overcome difficulties. And every 7 billion human being have same right to achieve that goal. And then we are social animal. Individuals of happy life entirely depend on the rest of the community. And then today's economic conditions and also environment issue. Now then national differences, geographical differences, racial differences, religious differences are now not much considered because of the important when we say about environment issue and global economy are beyond the national boundary. So that's now today's reality. Now we have to think, sort of concerned about others' well-being. So now, Asia. I think the major portion of 7 billion human beings in Asia. So, when I talk completely sort of informal or frank, so Czech, I think, different. But otherwise, as in many European countries in the past colonized many Asian countries, many Asian sort of area. European exploit, or French here. And also Dutch. I think the biggest, the Britain. Colonize many of Asian countries and also Africa and Latin America, and then use to see a lot of things from these countries. So, morally speaking, now you also should have the sort of sense of responsibility, a concern of their well-being, isn't it? I think many of my friends, French, English, German, Spanish, really is showing concern. So that's very right. So in any way, now in Asia, last 7 decades, it looks Japan, after war, from ashes of destruction of war, from ashes they built new nation. And economically also it's much very stable, peaceful. Then I think India, most populated democratic country, last for several decades, India, very peaceful, stable. Of course, some problem here, that's quite understandable, but all very peaceful. Why? Japan, mainly Japan and India, last several decades remained like that. Why? Because of democracy, freedom, rule of law, freedom of expression, freedom of media, transparency. The government or leaders, accountability to the people. So these are the real sort of factors that so many decades remain, in spite of many problems, remain calm, peaceful, stable. So now, Burma and China, unfortunately, see they, within the country, so some unnecessary problems there, besides all the suffering. So the concerned government responds, more suppression. Result, problem, just suppress on the surface, but underneath the problem increasing. So now, people from China, most populated nation on this planet, and Chinese people, really, generally speaking, cultured people, hardworking, long history. So now recent economic development with these things, I think most populated that big nation have great potential to make constructive contribution on the global level. Already the Chinese economy now making some contribution in Africa in many places. These are good. At the same time, I had a number of friends in Japan, Korea, Burma, Thailand, so on, and also India. Many of my friends, they admire Chinese people. At the same time, because of the system, they will fear everywhere. So fear brings distrust. Distrust destroys respect. So it is actually very much sort of hindrance. People from China, most populous nation, in order to make significant contribution for global level, world level, positively, China really need respect from the rest of the world. Respect very much depends on trust. Trust depends on honest, truthful, transparent. So, the totalitarian system is something lacking. So I am not sort of against socialism or Marxism. I often is telling people, as far as socio-economy theory is concerned, I'm Marxist. Buddhist monk, the student of Buddhist philosophy, at the same time, socio-economy theory, I'm Marxist. But totally against Leninism. I'm not Leninist. I think the Marxist economy theory, I think the only economic theory where showing very much concern about equal distribution, totally against exploitation. Whereas capitalism, think more about profit. So the capitalism create the opportunity of corruptions and also get rich and poor. United States, I love America. I respect America. I have many friends, but America, the richest country, but huge gap, rich and poor. So one time in Washington, my public talk, I mentioned biggest, most of the powerful and economically, and nation who consume most. However, the capital of that nation, Washington, many poor people, huge gap. But number of billionaire increasing, poor people still remain poor. That gap, how serious in France? I think some European countries like Sweden.
Why is he targeting me? You know it charged us in 30 years.
So some European countries, you see, seems to be less gap is poor. Recently I was in Mexico and also Argentina and Brazil. In my public talk, I asked audience, all these three countries, whenever I give some talk, public talk, I asked them, the gap, rich and poor, small or big? And they say, huge. All the audience, almost everyone is shown like that. Then corruption, small or big? Everyone is shown. This is sad. You see, we have to think very seriously how to reduce this gap, rich and poor. And have to make serious effort to clean up corruptions. These days in India, I'm telling my Indian friends, India, the most populated, democratic, stable country, wonderful. And culture is concerned, India, really, I think the 1,000 years, the non-violence concept exists in India, 1,000 years. And with that, religious harmony, respect each other, different religion, live harmoniously together. Of course, some pockets, problems here and there, that happened, it's understandable. About billion human population, some mischievous people, always this happen. So really wonderful. These days, I proudly state the Indians is our guru or teacher because we are Buddhist. All our sort of texts wrote by those great Indian Buddhist masters So we consider them as our teacher. We are student. And also I personally consider as a messenger of India. I love India. But at the same time, I openly, frankly, telling them, you Indian, basically religious-minded people, worship God, different form of God. But at the same time, not much concerned about corruption. It's a big contradiction. If you really love God, you must carry your life honest, truthful, justly. Yeah. So there's only two choices. Either believe God, worship God, or other, forget God, more corruptions. There is no third way. I'm telling my Indian friends. So you see, many people in India now really should seriously consider. Now people from China, immense corruption, huge gap. And then India, at least, there's freedom to express and rule of law. But people from China lacking these things. When you have power, then you're more or less free. So now, two reasons. In order to develop, in order to materialize that great nations of contribution for construction of the global level, we need trust, respect from the rest of the world. Another, the immense corruptions and garbage to poor. Many inland China, many people still very poor. So, in order to reduce these things, I think China need, as Chinese Prime Minister expressed several occasions, China need political reform. And in some cases, even he extended, he expressed, China need Western style of democracy. Chinese Prime Minister himself has mentioned that. Recently I met some Chinese, my friend. So your Prime Minister also is mentioned like that. So, generally speaking, you have to punish. You have to give punishment to your own Prime Minister. If you support, if you agree with the Prime Minister's expression, then you should think more seriously these things. So now in China, and previously in Soviet Union, like Sakharov and Solzhenitsyn, these people, and then later, of course, Gorbachev, and of course many other factors. But these, so really great leaders who have moral principle, you see, they really makes big differences. And I think I must say, Yeltsin, although I think too much I had alcohol, but no, Yeltsin, not trouble. But really, he made, you see, I think a lot of sort of contribution. So now China, I think like Li Shao and some other, and also the IVV artist, and some other, of course, say, a number of intellectuals, writers, who really see some of the drawbacks about the present sort of system. When they express, in the name of dropping government, and then put prison, some sentence, arrest, like that. So it is quite sad. And anyway, as I mentioned earlier, that great nation needs some change, as Prime Minister stated. So that those people who really making effort, some change, they immediately, you see, they suppress. So we need some kind of moral support to these people. So here, also the respected, experienced some leaders here. We've been to some discussions how to sort of help them, of course, morally. So I'm looking forward for the discussion. So I hope there's no need formality, simply friend discussions. That's, I think, very, very important. So then Czech people. I think you also have the experience, the difficulties, and not only difficulties, but stagnations because of totalitarian system and heavy censorship. Oh, I had one sort of strange sort of experience. When then Czechoslovakia, when you sort of become freedom, I got an invitation from your wonderful President Harvard. So then I came. And some local newspaper, I noticed, still use liberate Tibet by Chinese communists. No other country, no single reporter, you see, mentioned Tibet liberated by Chinese communists. But you, this country, I found one sort of, then immediately after sort of change. So you see, people not yet sort of educated, isn't it? So they, one report, one newspaper is mentioned like that. I'm a little bit surprised. So in any way, you have the experience. So therefore, naturally, you have certain sort of moral responsibility to help those people who still passing through difficulties because of the certain sort of system. This is not sort of anti-Chinese. No, we are helping. We are serving them. Okay. I think government, immediately blast on us. I think these, because of the conspiracy, particularly former French foreign minister. I think they will sort of blast on us. But actually, you see, we are helping them. There is Tibetan saying, if you are really sort of close friend, then you should point out your friend's sort of drawbacks or mistakes in order to change, in order to become better. So that's it. That's our sort of responsibility. This is not at all negative towards Chinese people or towards China. Like that. So, thank you. That's all.